What's good? This is JVB representing SPD, and that is sportsperdiem.com. Did you guys watch the AFC game yesterday? The game between the Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes, and the Houston Texans, led by Deshaun Watson? Did you see the greatness of those two quarterbacks? You know, Patrick Mahomes is, to me, he's the best quarterback in the league. Some can still say Aaron Rodgers, you could, whatever. But to me, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the game. Deshaun Watson, he's pretty damn good too. And this video isn't about Mitch Trubisky per se. We all know the Bears fucked up. We know Ryan Pace saw his little brother in the mirror when he looked at the reflection of Mitch Trubisky. He saw his younger self. We already know about that. But I'm talking about the two quarterbacks that played yesterday, Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. These guys are generational talents. But we've seen the greatness of these two guys throughout their young careers and also in the playoffs so far. You know, last week, Deshaun Watson helped his team come back to win a game. And then this week, we saw Pat Mahomes help lead the Chiefs to a comeback victory against Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans. If the Bears were losing in the playoffs, let's say they were down 17-0 going into halftime, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident will you be in Mitch Trubisky leading this team to a comeback victory? Pretty low, I would assume, right? It's crazy because when the Houston Texans went up 24-0, and you can debate that as well, you know, Bill O'Brien, shit, he went for it on 4th and inches and try to get another touchdown to go up 28-0, you know, put the foot on the throat of the Kansas City Chiefs, or were you cool with him kicking that field goal? They went up 24-0. Nevertheless, the Kansas City Chiefs were down 24-0. I know they had some fluky turnovers to go their way, you know, and also Houston going for it on 4th down in their own territory, and they didn't convert. So I know they had some help, but it was 24-0. And I had all the faith in the world, and I'm not even a Kansas City Chiefs fan. But even as a spectator watching that game, I had all the faith in the world that Pat Mahomes was going to help lead that team back into the game. I wasn't too sure they were going to come all the way back and win the game, but I was sure that they were going to make it a game because they have a great quarterback. And then we're here in Chicago and we have Mitch Trubisky. I'll leave it at that. But another thing about those two quarterbacks, they push the ball down the field. Here in Chicago, Matt Nagy wants to push the ball down the field. You know, he wants to be Andy Reid 2.0. First of all, you ain't Andy Reid. Andy Reid is a future Hall of Fame coach who's one win away from going back to the Super Bowl. Secondly, you have Mitch Trubisky. And maybe Matt Nagy believes in Mitch. Maybe he doesn't believe in Mitch. But at the end of the day, he has Mitch. And the GM, Ryan Pace, assured that in the end-of-season press conference. But you have Mitch Trubisky. You can't be throwing the ball 90% of the time and running it 10%. Sometimes less than that. Going into next season, this offense needs to look different. And I'm not talking about just the personnel. I'm talking about the play calling. Because I don't care who the offensive coordinator is. First of all, they're not going to be calling fucking plays. You thought somebody like Pat Shermer wanted to come here knowing that he wasn't going to be calling plays? He was just going to be sitting in the corner, writing down little fucking notes, making plays, and hoping that maybe a few of them were called by Matt Nagy during the game? No. He wants to be an offensive coordinator. He wants to call the plays, as an offensive coordinator does. But as I was saying, you need to switch it up. You can't throw the ball all the damn time. There needs to be a more balanced attack on this offense because your quarterback isn't that good. And I'm not even trying to dog Mitch Trubisky right now. I've done that enough throughout the season. I'm just calling it like I see it. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Deshaun Watson. He's not Aaron Rodgers. None of these guys. He's not going to be the guy who makes the wide receivers. You feel me? He needs to have solid to good offensive players around him to make him better. And most importantly, he needs a running game. I remember Matt Nagy saying, I didn't come here to run the I formation. Well, yeah, we know you didn't come here to run the I formation. You came here to develop Mitch Trubisky. And guess what? It ain't working. So now, as a head coach, you need to adjust. Especially if Mitch is going to be the quarterback next season, you need to adjust the offense. You need to cater the offense around Mitch Trubisky. So Ryan Pace, you're going to have to get real clever, create more cap space, and bringing in guys who are going to help this team. You're going to have to look at your team right now and improve as much as you could, because guess what? If you don't really do anything this offseason, next year at this time, you're going to be gone. Matt Nagy also could be gone. Even though I do believe that Matt Nagy is a good head coach, I do believe he's a great motivator for a team. He motivates this team well. He's a great players coach. He's just not calling the plays that well. He's just not a good offensive coordinator right now. But in his case, he says he's going to do a lot of self-evaluating. He's going to take some time off, clear his mind. Well, I hope while he's clearing his mind, he's realizing that he isn't Andy Reid. He's realizing that his quarterback is not Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson. He has to realize that throwing the ball 90-something% of the time isn't going to work with this offense. It's not going to work with this quarterback because he cannot do it. I'm not saying this team needs to run the ball the majority of the time, but there needs to be a balance. And it doesn't have to be 50-50. It can be 60-40, passing to run. But there needs to be more of a balance for this offense, because right now there's no identity, because we don't know what this offense really is. I know it's been offensive. It's been offensive to all Bears fans and even non-Bears fans watching their ass play. But Matt Nagy needs to reevaluate things, because throwing the ball 70, 80, 90% of the time is not going to bode well for this team. Mitch Trubisky will never be a great quarterback, but you can help the man if you change the identity of this offense. If you start to run the ball more, bring in some offensive line help, bring in some tight ends that can catch the fucking football, possibly even bring in a fullback or at least a tight end that can actually block. But you need to change the identity of this team, because this ain't the sexy offense that you may have dreamed of when you came here to Chicago. You need to change it up a little bit. You need to go ahead and put some makeup on it, change the wardrobe up, and get a whole new identity. But I'm out. Like the video and share the video. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take it easy. God bless. Peace.